If you're trying to build a strong athletic physique at home using standard fitness advice, you're wasting your time. When you try to copy that in a garage or basement or living room with limited equipment, you end up spinning your wheels and ultimately not seeing the fat loss and the muscle definition that you really want. So today I'm breaking down 4 fitness rules that work in the gym but these are the rules you need to break if you're 40 plus working out at home. I'm going to cover why they don't work when you work out at home and also the workarounds that I use to completely rebuild my body since last year. Let's get into it. The first rule that we're breaking is supersets and how they're traditionally done in the gym. That is, pick 2 exercises for opposite muscle groups and do one after the other without rest, making your workouts more time efficient. But when you're working around limited equipment, working out at home, for a lot of exercises, this just isn't going to leave your muscles working hard enough. And I discovered this pretty early on working out at home because yes, it made my workouts more time efficient, but I'd finish exercises without my muscles feeling too fatigued, and I'd finish workouts barely sweating. Bottom line, it was leaving my muscles understimulated. How we're adjusting this rule so it can work for guys working out at home around limited equipment. And that is, instead of doing a superset pairing 2 exercises of opposite muscle groups, like one for the chest muscles and one for the back muscles, we're doing same muscle supersets. So in our example, that would be 2 exercises done back to back for the chest muscles. And how this works around limited equipment is you put an exercise first that's going to be challenging with the weights you have. So for example, we're going to say a dumbbell chest fly. You're going to do your reps of the chest fly, make sure your chest muscles get challenged, and then immediately after that, you're going to do push-ups or a dumbbell bench press. And both of those tend to need more weight to be challenging, which is why it's the second exercise in the superset. And why they work is because since you've already fatigued the muscle with the first exercise, that second exercise, your limited weights are now going to drive maximum muscle fatigue and metabolic stress for the muscle you're trying to hit and challenge. So in our example, the push-ups are going to be challenging with far fewer reps. If you're doing a bench press, the dumbbell bench press is going to be challenging with far less weight, so you can still get a great chest workout in, even if you don't have very heavy or heavy enough dumbbells. All right, so that's rule number 1. Change how you do supersets to still hit your muscles effectively with the equipment that you do have. On to our next fitness rule that we're breaking is drop sets. Right? And in the gym, doing drop sets is a luxury. It's a nice add-on to occasionally put into your workouts to get a little bit more out of an exercise. But they're only done one way. You do your reps, you grab 5-pound lighter dumbbells, and you go again. That doesn't always work at home, again, because of limited equipment. Most people don't have a full rack of dumbbells. They don't have a cable system that's easy to just drop the pin, move the pin up 5 pounds, and then go again. So again, we need to break this rule because with limited equipment, we still want to use drop sets as a way to get the best muscle building stimulus, the best muscle definition stimulus with the limited equipment that we have at home, that you may have at home. So the workaround here is we're going to consider not just 1, but 3 different ways that we could use drop sets in our home workouts to get more out of an exercise and the equipment we have. The first way is the exact same like in the gym. You do your reps, you grab a little bit lighter dumbbells. It might be a bigger difference than just 5 pounds or 10 pounds, but you work with what you have. If you have free weights like I have, I just take off 5 or 10 pound plates on each side of my bar or the dumbbell handle, since that's what I use. And then you just immediately go and do as many reps as you can with the lighter weight until failure, until you can't do another rep with good form. But that's only one of the ways. The other 2 ways, the second way, is called a mechanical drop set. And this is an interesting one because again, we can make exercises that typically aren't challenging enough to do at home, or that aren't challenging enough because of the equipment we do have at home. We can make them more challenging. So an example here is you do your reps of an exercise. Then we're going to switch to a variation of the exercise that's either changing the angle, which makes the exercise a little bit easier so you can get more reps, or we're going to change to an entirely different variation of an exercise, right? So that's a mechanical drop set. We're changing how we're doing the exercise to make it a little bit easier so that once the first variation gets very tough, we can still get more reps and drive more muscle definition or keeping muscle when we're trying to drop body fat. The third type of drop set isn't really a drop set. It's called myo reps. But why we're including it here is because it's done very similarly to drop sets. You do as many reps as you can for myo reps with good form, and then you put the weights down for 5 to 10 seconds. I usually go about 5 to 7 seconds. You pick up the same weights and you go get a few more reps with good form. So it's the same idea as drop sets where you're taking a little mini rest so that you can get more reps. You're just not changing the weight. So that's a third way. Regular drop sets, mechanical drop sets, and myo reps. More ways to do drop sets to get better results from your home workouts working around the equipment you have. All this said, breaking these gym rules, they're going to get you better fat loss. They're going to get you better muscle definition results from your home workouts if you have limited equipment. But if your nutrition is not on point, the workouts are great, but you're not going to see the changes on the scale in the mirror that you could be getting, that you could be seeing. One of the most common times that nutrition goes off the rails is the weekends, because living life takes over, resulting in a minimal amount of overall fat loss, if at all. And so it's incredibly frustrating. Learn to succeed on the weekends so you can make progress during the week and on the weekends so you can get the results that are really possible. And to do that, if that's a common frustration for you, is how you eat on the weekends and how they undo progress you make between Monday and Friday, then download my free Busy Guys Weekend Fat Loss Game Plan. It's a 3-page PDF. You can go through it in 15 minutes and figure out how to have a plan for the weekends for your nutrition. It's free. Go get it at the link in the description. Recent fitness research loves to argue about eccentrics, the lowering portion of an exercise when you lower the weights. And the recent research has actually shown that isn't as important or integral for driving muscle gain or muscle building results than we previously thought, than the research previously showed. And so a lot of videos, a lot of articles have been written and made saying you don't need to do this, you don't need to lower weights more slowly because look, it's not beneficial from a muscle building standpoint. But what they're missing are the other benefits that are particularly relevant if you're 40 plus and working out at home. Okay, and there's two aspects here. Number one is lowering weight slowly is more beneficial for your joints, which is of particular interest for a lot of 40-year-old guys, right? We want our home workouts, we want the exercises to be as joint friendly as possible, not cause aches and pains. And so this reason alone is reason enough to still lower your weight slowly over 3 or 4 seconds. You don't have to use it all the time, but it's a great way to take care of your joints because lowering the weights more slowly is going to mean more muscle tension, which means less stress on the joints, which leads us into the second benefit. It's going to make the weights you do have more challenging because the more time your muscles are under tension, the faster they're going to fatigue. Lift hard, but take care of your joints and get the most out of the equipment you do have at home. And the last gym rule we're going to break is that unless your workout is 45 or 60 minutes, There's no point in doing it. You're not going to get great gains from it. And although that advice is well-intentioned, it's trying to tell you the truth. It doesn't tell you the whole truth, or it leaves a lot of it out. It essentially negates the idea of doing half-an-hour workouts, even 20-minute workouts. But for busy guys working out at home, where there's a ton of distractions, these shorter home workouts can make the difference between staying on track, staying consistent, and seeing continued progress on the scale and in the mirror, or quitting because you feel too busy and you can't keep up the routine. With home workouts, feel free to break this rule. And by doing a hyper-focused 20-minute, 30-minute workout, if that's all you have time for, using drop sets like we discussed earlier in this video, using supersets like we discussed at the beginning of this video, those will maximize the effectiveness of that shorter workout time. And instead of being useless or not worth it, it's actually a great way to drive continued results even from those shorter workouts. Push hard with the time that you do have available to work out. Push hard with the equipment you do have at home. Breaking these common gym rules gives you solutions to work around these common home workout constraints. And that's why I'm sharing them with you today. Building an athletic body at home, it isn't about following sacred gym rules. It's about engineering smart workarounds that are going to work for your life. If you're tired of trying to fit cookie cutter gym programs from a PDF or an app into your busy schedule and with a limited home workout setup, let's build something made specifically for you. This is how I help busy guys in my one-to-one online coaching to help them see the fat loss and muscle definition results that they really want with a routine that fits into their schedule, fits into their life. If you want help with that too, then click the link in the description to book your free 20-minute strategy and roadmap call. We'll look at your equipment, we'll look at your schedule, and we'll look at your exact goals to map out a customized, no BS 12-month roadmap. So click that link, grab a slot before they fill up, and let's start building your foundation.